Hey there, I'm Eric Steward. I'm here with the Compound. It's my private disc golf course. Been open for about 8 years to the public. Currently, I'm fighting with the township to try to keep it open. Each one of my group of friends actually has their own course, and we have trophies. So one for my house, one for Albert's house, one for Jared and Bree's house, and we'll play each week, and whoever wins gets to keep the trophy for the week. So it's kind of a fun friends and family thing too. So currently I have 22 holes. I'm just been slowly adding them. Anytime I'm out here on the property, if I see like a cool line or something, I'll go and add it in. Or if I'm playing with guests that come out, they'll say, hey, that would be a really cool location for a basket, or that would be a cool line to use there, and I'll try to implement that in course. It's actually pretty awesome. They come back like a couple months later, a year later, whatever it is, and they'll see that I've done something, one of their ideas, and it's pretty cool to see their faces light up. I've actually got a couple of different lines. Mason Frost, he's actually one of my like local pros, and he kind of pointed out a really cool line, and I call it the Frost line. So it's pretty fun. There's 500-foot holes on some of these, so I'm trying to make a full size. There is crossing fairways, which is why I have to do a schedule to play. I can't have two groups at the same time with the full 22-hole layout, just for safety matter. I don't want people to get hit with the discs. So this is that line I was telling you about. It used to be strictly the narrow gap to the left over here. There was some trees and branches and stuff sticking out. This is the one that Mason told me to put in a forehand flex route. So that's why Blues par 3. You can actually forehand flex all the way up and come around. I've been maybe 10 foot from the basket a couple times there. And the basket's up here in the rock. This is one of my favorite greens. You can see I actually had to drill into the rock on this one. And that was a significant amount of time getting through that. It takes a while to drill rock, apparently. Basically, when I moved in, my dad was getting sick. We used to play golf all the time, and he wasn't able to get around normal golf courses. So I had to make this place so I could, ride around the golf cart with him and be able to play. So. After he'd passed, I continued to work on it and make it better in his memory, so get a little emotional about it. He was one of the only other people that was crazy enough to play disc golf in the wintertime, at least that I knew of at the time. And we were playing one day over at Mount Pleasant, and I had thrown a disc and it got stuck in probably like the tallest pine tree. And I just had to climb up to the top, and I ended up falling down at one point, and he just kind of made fun of me a little bit, so it was kind of funny. I was fine, but it was, like I said, he was the crazy one that plays in the snow, and I finally found a group to play with over the wintertime for glow golf. And it brings back really good memories from that. So it's not explicitly stated, I don't put signs, but it is built for my father in his memory, just to keep him alive. 8 years ago, it started off with just like, I think it was like 3 baskets and only like 5-6 holes, whatever, just like me and my dad, me and my friends. And then as we played more often, I just kept expanding. And if we were losing disc in a certain area, I would clear it out and make it nicer, get the rough cleaned up. And then I'd be like, oh, hey, I'm cleaning up. That's a cool line. I'm going to put a basket there. And it just kept evolving.
Course is really enjoyable, fun.
Well, I'll usually ask people that I play through with if there's anything on the course you might change, any lines that you didn't like or anything like that. I always try to better the course.
Most of the holes were really fun. There's a lot of ace run opportunities, lots of places to pick up birdies on the par 4s. Super playable, really beginner friendly. With the beginner layouts, so you have the pro layouts to challenge yourself a little bit harder if you want to. So it doesn't have a full like private course feel. It really just feels like something you'd go play that your city would put together,
So yeah, I try to get as close to a full-size course as I can with multiple different types of shots and different types of hole designs as far as tunnels and golf course style, so a little mix of everything.
Yeah.
Try to do a little bit of OB to make it more difficult. I've got, gosh, at least another 40-some trees planted just this year. And as soon as those actually start growing to the point where they're going to become an issue, it'll be a lot more fun.
Yeah, all the natural OB too is nice, like water, any type of water is like an obvious OB that you're going into. So
the property was an absolute mess when I moved in. The previous owner, the pond it was filled with carpet. It was filled with vinyl siding and just trash. The entirety over here, it was piled up with stuff everywhere. I had to clean everything out, all the dead trees, the some of the culverts and ditches were filled in with carpet and stuff like that. So it just backed up and it was just a wasteland, and it's so much better now. What are you doing, Bear? Come on now. Walker, get down. So much for cleaning the cart. Yeah, these guys absolutely love being out here. They'll be following me around anytime I'm in work, on the tractor, the brush hog or golf cart or whatever. The property is 17 acres and the course is currently on probably 12 of those for the holes that I'm currently have right now. I'm working on putting some more out in the field. I've been planting trees and everything. I don't want to just have open shots completely, so I got to wait for those to grow up before I really start putting those to, like, actually finishing them up. But there are trees planted out there to get some more holes in, and that'll end up taking probably 15 of the 17 acres we use for the disc golf course. So transplanting trees has been an absolute pain in the butt, because every time I try to do it, they end up dying off because I cut too many roots off. As far as like cost effectiveness, I can't really go out and just buy a ton of trees because that's going to cost a fortune. Just a couple days ago, which started this whole thing, I was called by the township zoning commissioner, or whatever you want to call him, and he was telling me that I need to cease and desist all public business related activities on the property, and he referenced the disc golf course. I told him that I never accepted any money at all. I do get donations once in a while, but I don't charge people to play here. And I did tell him that it is a private property course, it's listed as such, and I make sure that people contact me before they come. It's not just an endless stream of people coming through here. Then he got kind of upset when I had, I guess, the right answer for that. He brought up my dirt bike track and my shooting range, and I said the same thing there and let him know that I didn't accept money at all. And instead of saying, okay, sounds like you're good, or hey, could you please fill out these forms, he mentioned that, hey, we've been investigating you for the last year and a half, and I'm coming after you. This is your warning. And they hung up on me. So it wasn't like, hey, this is a friendly warning. This is, something you just need to get a permit for. It sounds like they're headhunting me for some reason. And as far as I can tell, the only thing that could have caused that is my neighbor about a half mile away, about a year and a half ago, which time frame meets up, I was shooting on my property. And if I'm inside of my house and we're shooting right there, like, I can almost not hear the gunshots at all. I have no idea how this guy claims that I'm bothering him. My neighbors right across the road right down here don't notice it at all. So I shoot once every 6 months, maybe every year, for about an hour to hour and a half. On Sunday, noon to 1:30, completely within range for everything. I have a backstop, all that. But a little bit later, after shooting that day, I was out mowing the lawn on the disc golf course, and he had pulled up in his truck. First time I've ever talked to the guy. I didn't even know he existed because, again, he's a ways away. And he just went crazy. I mean, we're not talking, hey, what the heck, stopped it. We're talking the yelling, swearing, I'm going to come over there and beat you to within an inch of your life, like absolute massive threats. I calmly explained to him, it's like, hey, I don't know what you're upset about. I don't know what's going on, and we can start over. I'm definitely willing to work out something. And he continued to yell and swear and say he's going to beat me. I asked him again one more time, hey, we can work things out, set up a schedule, whatever. Continued to go into it. So at that point, he mentioned that he was going to come beat me up again next time I came shooting. Started screaming again, well, I'm going to call the effing cops on you. And I said, go ahead. He ended up taking off after saying he's going to call the cops. Really didn't hear much about anything from the township at all the entire year and a half. The neighbor himself would just go back and forth, honk his horn, flip me off, whatever, I'll deal with it. It's fine. I'm not going to bother getting into a fight with anybody. Up until a couple nights ago, about 3 nights ago, I think, I had to shoot a bird. It had 2 broken legs, and it was 10 o'clock at night. Obviously a little bit later than I probably should have, but I'm not going to let the thing suffer all night. So I got my 22, 2 shots, threw it out in the woods. That was the end of it. Next day, I'm out mowing the disc golf course. The same neighbor comes back through and just bringing up, I told you what I was going to do if you ever shot again, all that other stuff. So I just ended up just getting away from the situation, wasn't going to get into it. And instead of getting into an argument or a fight or whatever, just took off to the neighbor's house, just to make sure I was somewhere where this guy's not going to go nuts. So anyway, at the neighbor's house, and he kind of told me a story about him having the same exact kind of confrontation with him. His other buddy that owns the portion of the woods right next to him his kids were out there hunting on their own property, and this guy was shooting into the woods, like trying to scare these kids away. Well, he's a little unhinged, obviously scary. So I had to go and get a restraining order. Hopefully it's going to pass. I'm not that guy. I never did that before, and ever had that situation, but I'm to the point where I don't feel like I can use my property, or I don't really want to have people over as much until this is taken care of with him and the township and all that stuff. But I love having people out here. It's my favorite thing. I love being part of the disc golf community. I don't want to shut this place down. I still want to be able to share this with everybody and meet new friends and all that stuff. So I definitely need the support to get this figured out. And every other township and city is putting in a disc golf course, and they're happy to do it. This particular township has one of the highest rated courses in Michigan, and they're trying to get rid of it. So if I get a big enough following, I think it'll make them change their mind and maybe back off a little bit. So
I started playing with my dad when I was like 11. Stopped for a while until I started working with some guys who played, and ended up becoming best friends with some of those guys and going out to the courses with your leagues, and you can just meet and hang out with a random person for 3 hours and talk about the woods and shots and disc and
be completely at home with each other, just hanging out and having a good time, and definitely a good way to bring different communities together and bring in new people to communities.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to playing it again.
Oh, yeah, dude. Thanks.
Cool.
Yeah, so I've been here just over around 9 years. I've been working on the course itself for about 8. Just the last couple of years I've been out here basically at least an hour every night, up to 10 hours during the day to do this. The pond was pretty shallow. It was completely just trashed. It was full of actual carpet from in the house, vinyl siding. He just literally threw his trash in here. There was carpet in the woods clogging up some of the drain pipes, which caused everything to flood, killed a bunch of trees. There was paint cans in there. It's all been cleaned up as best I can, as far as chemically and everything. The field was completely open field being used by the farmer, and it was just a barren wasteland out there. Nothing was growing because of all the chemicals they used. So that's finally all grass. I'm planting trees. I'm putting ditches and ponds in for the wildlife and everything. So I'm doing my absolute best to do what's right for the property and still be able to have it open for people to enjoy. I would love to have people out. Please give me a heads up before you come out. I can't have people showing up all the time. That would be even harder to fight. Like, the whole thing is get a hold of me. Hey, what's up? Become friends. Hey, yeah, come on out, play the disc golf course. If you just show up, then it becomes public. So please continue to let me know before you come out. And I have my availability when I'm not at work posted on there, so you at least kind of know when to ask. And I do my best to make sure you can play. And it's completely free. I don't, if you want to donate, go ahead. I usually will actually forward that onto the wildlife reserve. But I don't accept any cash payments for playing. It's just like having people out here.
Good.
Sweet.
I think that's a wrap. All right, so where we left you, you were dealing with the township, and you had just submitted your request for the restraining order against your troublesome neighbor.
Yeah, so the restraining order did not go through. Needed more evidence or something like that. They said it wasn't enough to really put a restraining order on somebody. I'm not really sure what you have to do to get one of those, and at this point you almost have to get attacked before they'll actually do something about it. But
so
either way, he did get notified. So hopefully that is enough to let him know that, hey, it's stop doing this. I really don't want to have to go to the point where it gets into a fight or argument. So hopefully it just backs off a little bit there. So that's good. And as far as the meeting goes, I actually did a TikTok video, which exploded to 30,000 views. And a couple of days after that happened, the township actually called me and set up the meeting. So they were ignoring me for quite some time. And I believe that having that take off the way it did was what really pushed them over the edge, especially with the election coming up for them and everything. Mm-hmm. And it was a completely different tune. I said, hey, come on in. I got into the meeting and they were extremely friendly. They seemed like they were going to be very helpful. They told me they knew about the neighbor and they weren't there to try to make money, which was what a lot of the comments were about. So I think they read through everything and it's hey, this is not some kind of publicity that we really want. So I really, really appreciate everybody jumping on board and helping me. That was huge. I think that made everything much better. So at the end of the day, it ends up I just have to get a $175 I paid them to get the story in the newspaper as far as like having people come out to the meeting if they need to say anything about the property. And they're going to make it a outdoor recreation facility, so it's going to be labeled as such. I really didn't ask about the taxes. Hopefully they don't go up. It might have to be something else we need to go into, but I was just trying to get it done as quickly as possible so people could start coming back out here again. I didn't want it to be a big, 6 month to a year long fight and not be allow people out here. And it's all about them, So it's the faster I get people back out here, the better.
Yeah. Well, that's fantastic because it definitely seeing your story and everything that you've gone through throughout this point, it was apparent that it was a great injustice that was happening. And so to see them willing to work with you it's just great to see. And so having such a hidden gem as your course cut off and not able to be accessed by the community is a tragedy. So it's super exciting that they're really willing to work with you now.
Yeah, absolutely. And they basically just said, hey, the 27th of the month after the meeting, everything should go smoothly. And then you'll be able to let people come back out again. And they said I can still have family out. So I just let everybody know that, hey, let me know if you're coming out, and, definitely willing to meet some long lost cousins and, hang out, see what's up. But,
Yep.
Had some family members come out just recently and had a great time in the course. So it's
nice. Awesome. Well, I'm glad there's a happy ending, or at least a foreseeable happy ending.
Yep,
and people will still be able to enjoy your course.
Yeah, I really appreciate everything you've done. And yeah, the video looked amazing so far. And I can't wait to get on there. And hopefully this gets a little bit more people out here to play. And definitely looking forward to meeting some new players.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. All right. I appreciate everything.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you. Have a wonderful day.
Thanks, you too.
Bye.